Hi, welcome back to dev.log. In this episode, we're going to be covering tokens, verification tokens, password reset tokens, 2FA tokens, and also always covering upcoming, so what's going to be coming up. Starting off, what is a token? Token is a broad term used for many different aspects of software development. Of course, outside of software development, it is used, but it's a common term you'll run into in software development. A general definition is a symbol representing something. So it's a representation of something else. In the case of the tokens currently used in this program, they're used to represent as like an identifier for a user, and they relate to different aspects of functionality. All this will later be more explained in the video, but in simple terms, to understand it, take 25 cents equals a quarter. That cents amount is represented, the money amount is represented as a quarter here, which is in a term, a token, a coin, but it represents money, but that money is per se not tangible except for the quarter. So in this demo video, I have created a new account that hasn't been verified yet, and I'm going in to log in for the very first time. Now, what will happen is that it will tell me, hey, my account hasn't been verified yet. We've sent an email basically. And then from there, we can go to the email and you'll be given as a user a link. And with that link, you are then able to click it and it'll open up a new page back to the website where it will be telling you that it will be verifying your account. You don't really need to do anything, you just gotta let it process and load. And in the case of this demo, it comes up with an error saying token does not exist. The only reason for that is that in React in development mode and stuff, it's super strict, so it'll be running things twice. So it runs the same use effect to make sure that it verifies the token, but since you ran it once, it got verified, the token's now gone. And since it does that again, it comes back as saying the token does not exist. So that's just the explanation for that. But then now you can click back to log in and you can log in as you normally would. And once you log in, you're now verified. That's as simple as that. That's how the verification works. I'm going to dive into the verification token flow and show you the process of how the token is created, what the token contains, and how it is able to verify the user in this case. So starting off, we got to get an input, and that input is logging in or signing up. Now, this will happen, of course, when new users created or unverified users logging in. And in that case, it will go to whichever file is used for logging in or signing up. But in each of those files, we call upon two functions. The first one getting called is generate verification token, part of the token.ts file. And then we have the send verification email function that then also gets called, so it's able to actually send the verification email. In this example, we're going to look at what the login TS basically looks like, but overall it's wrapped in a if statement, just checking that if the user is not verified, this will happen basically. So first we're going to generate the verification token, and that token gets added to the Firebase or Firestore collection for the token itself. Then taking a little sidebar here where the token is overall contains email, the expiration date and time, a token number that's created, and of course ID related to it in the database itself. Now that token is passed into our send verification email. That function sends an email to the user, and the token is put into a link inside of that email sent to the user. Now that confirmation link, which has the token number, when the user clicks on it, it will then also lead them now to a new page, and on that page it will allow for the verification process. New verification.ts is what basically handles all of that. First, it checks if there is a token. We do that by querying for the token from Firestore, and then it checks if the token has expired, checks if the user exists, and updates the user verified field to be the date that it was verified at that point. And then the token is then deleted, so it's not stored in the database, doesn't take up more storage than it needs to. And then you have the button that will lead you back to login, and then you can log in and be on your merry way. So that's overall the verification token flow. Now to reset your password, if you forgot it, you click the forgot password on the login page. It will lead you to a new page where you enter in your email. So it will send you an email to your inbox, and there you will open up an email. It will look very similar to the one shown in the verification demo, where all you need to do is click the link and it will then open up to a new page that you will be able to reset your password. So you enter in your new password and then you can click update password, and then it will let you know, hey, your password's been updated, or if anything else goes wrong, it will let you know. And then from there, you can go click back to the login page, log in as you would have done using the same email that you used to on the account, and you logged in. Now we're going to look at the flow for this token, and it's going to be somewhat similar to the previous token, but it has its own slight changes to it. As before, in this case, the only page you're going to have to find this on is the login page currently. And so on the login page, you click forgot password, and then you get taken to the password reset page where you enter in your email, and from there it will run password reset basically. And then password reset, as before, we're calling from the tokens file. In password reset, we're calling like before in the other demo from the tokens and mail TS files. And the tokens files, we have the generate password reset token, and then we also have in the mail file send password reset email. And then from there, we can look at the functionality of the password reset TS file, where first of all, we validate that and parse the fields given. So that is the email given, and then check if there is a user with that email. From there, then we can generate the password reset token, and like before, we can add that token to the database. It's the same kind of token type. It has email expires at this certain time and a token number as well as ID, and with that token we pass that into the send password reset email as well as other information, and we send the email to the user. So they'll get an email sent to them with the token embedded inside the link sent to the user. Now they will click on the link and it will take them to the new passwords page, and that's where they will submit their new password. And when they submit it, it will run the new password.ts file, where first of all it will check if there is a token given. So anyone randomly entering the link and trying to reset a password, you just can't because there's no token tied to it. Second of all, it validates and parses it, the form submitted basically, so the password submitted. Checks if the token is in the database, if it's actually there. Checks if the token has expired or not, and checks if the user actually exists. And then the password is then hashed and salted, so it's basically encrypted, the new password, like the other password when you first created it, it's hashed and salted. And then the user's password is updated with the hashed password, and the token is then deleted. And then of course you have the button to go back to the login page. You log in and you should be all good to be able to use the program. 2FA is a bit different compared to the previous two. In this case, later on there'll be a setting where you can basically say if it's true or false, turn on, toggle it. But right now that isn't set up, but the functionality of logging in with 2FA is there. So if 2FA is on, so set to true, when you click login, you will see here on the demo that it will open up to a screen now where you just put the 2FA code. The 2FA code is sent to you. It's just a random 6-digit code or token per se, and that's where you will copy it, and then you will put that code in like any other 2FA kind of setup, and you submit the code, and then it will log you in. Now let's look at the 2FA token flow. This one's pretty different from the previous tokens that we've looked at. Of course, you start with the login page, and from there the user logs in. Once the user logs in the login.ts file related to the two-factor authentication, we first check if 2FA is enabled or not. If it isn't, then it will skip all over this. And then we have two parts of a if-else statement. First part we're actually going to be looking at is the else. So first off, with the part of the else is that we're going to generate the two-factor token. Like before in the other tokens, this is from the token.ts file, but we generate the token, we send the two-factor token to the user, then we'll just return factor 2 as true. So once again, similar setup, we send the token to the database, to Firestore, and then we send the email, the 2FA code that's created to the user's email, and then they will take that code that they'll be given to submit it. They'll go back to the login page with the login page now looking different with the 2FA input, not the past email and password, and then they'll submit the code. It will then lead us to first if part that we have, where we check if there is a code given, and then get the 2FA token from the database. So we're going to query that, and then we're going to check if there is a token that it matches, that's not expired, all that kind of stuff. Delete the token from the database itself, get existing confirmation, delete confirmation, create a new one. Now you're wondering, but what if there was no confirmation in the first place? Well, it's perfectly fine if there wasn't. It's just there as a safeguard if there was a confirmation before that was created, so it makes sure that it gets deleted, so there's a new fresh confirmation. Try to put this in simpler terms. With 2FA, every time you log in, you'll have a 2FA code, so the confirmation will still be there that you passed the 2FA aspect of like the previous time you logged in, so the 2FA confirmation would be there. So when we log in again, we would want to get that deleted if there was one there, so we create a new one. In the case of first times, then there wouldn't be a confirmation code, but it will still work perfectly fine. We query for the token, we get that from the Firestore. Again, we'll go back in and get the existing confirmation, delete the confirmation, and then we're going to add the confirmation token. It's added to our Firebase, Firestore, and then this is where it becomes a little different because there's no real connection between the login TS with our callback, but in our auth.ts sign-in callback that we had talked about in the previous episode of this series, we query the confirmation from the database, check if the 2FA is enabled, of course, get the confirmation token just to say, hey, if there's a confirmation token, then we are all good to go to log in. And if there isn't a confirmation token, then we're going to say return false, so it won't log you in. And then of course we're going to delete the confirmation token and continue this actual sign-in function. Now we put another delete here to make sure that all bases are covered on deleting the token. So that's overall our 2FA token flow. So what's upcoming, you may ask? Well, we're developing the settings page, and that's mainly the main focus at this point, is just try and get that relatively built out. We won't have everything, and there might be more stuff down the line that will be added, of course, but is getting the general design and layout worked out of how I want the settings page to look and what information, of course, is given. And then again, putting in all those options and putting in the actual functionality, like being able to change your password there, or being able to change your username or your display name here, add a picture or add your own icon, and other functionality that will, of course, again, be built out down the line. So right now it's mainly focusing on the settings page, though it's not here in the upcoming. I will say this: from the settings page, we will then start to dive into trying to work out and build out the actual main functionality of the app, and finally move off of authentication. Now, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you want to see more, check out the previous videos and subscribe so you'll see more content. Once again, these videos come out roughly twice a week, or bi-weekly if you want to say it that way. Thanks for watching.